Call is
Guys. Well, good morning. This is Phyllis Nash, and I'm one of the four co-founders. Really excited to be here before you this morning and about to announce and introduce our speaker that I feel so blessed to have in my life. Yes, I said in my life. He is such an inspiration. He is such his word is just spiritual when you need it to be, educational, as we're going to hear this morning. And I'm just excited that we realize that we have a world renowned speaker, motivational speaker, a pastor that is very well liked and called on. And we get to have him in our presence on Tuesday mornings here at Akana. So I feel very blessed to announce my friend, my nephew, my son, or my mentor, none other than Coach Dan. Are you out there?
Hey, what's going on, my beloved? I am out here. I am actually in DC right now, in the DC, Maryland. I was in Virginia yesterday. I'm in Maryland today, DC later on. Got a lot of stuff going on, but it's always a plumb pleasing pleasure, more than a privilege, to come and to be with my Akana family. Man, guess what? Guess what? It is the fourth quarter. Man, and this is the time where companies and people are scrambling and pushing and buckling up their seatbelt, locking in and making things happen. Because this is the time where the commitment to finish strong is made. Not only is this the time to finish strong, but this is also for me the time to set up for the next run. And so as I'm closing out my fourth quarter, I'm also closing out with my eyes set on what my first quarter is going to look like. Because one thing I learned about life is if how you end one season is going to determine how you enter into another. So if you end one season with momentum, that momentum is going to carry you into your next season. And so here's the thing. Well, why does this make sense, Coach Dan? Well, it makes sense because some people look at, when they get to the fourth quarter, they look at it as, a matter of fact, I was watching a football game and it was kind of depressing as the Dallas Cowboys, no pun intended, was getting pretty much smashed by, I believe it was the Detroit Lions. And it got to a place in the game where they took out the starting quarterback, and it probably had, it was mid fourth quarter. And so it was after they threw a pick, and after Dak Prescott threw a pick in the fourth quarter, when he sat down, he never came back out. And so what that is a sign of is that the coach and everybody else lost hope in finishing with a victory. And so when they lost hope, they gave up effort. And so now, instead of going into the next game with some sense of momentum, even though they were suffering a loss, they're going in with a depleted mentality. And now there's no momentum. The energy has been sucked out of them, which is going to make it 10 times more difficult for them to come back and really push. Now, it's possible that they could, but it's going to be difficult. It's a tough week. I watched Aaron Rodgers last night lose against the Buffalo Bills. It's a tough week, and you can see in the post game interview, his his disappointment and his um, seemingly, to be honest with you, his posture said, "I don't know if we're going to make it." Everything about him said, "I don't know if we're going to make it." And so some of us, not all of us, that's on this line, some of us have looked at where we are in the fourth quarter as it pertains to our business. Some of us have looked at where we are in the fourth quarter as it pertains to our life. And here's what winds up happening. Some of us have made a decision, well, I haven't made it this far, maybe next time, maybe next year. Some of us have lost our edge and lost our momentum and lost our hope because we have not achieved that which we were seeking to achieve and finishing at the level that we desire to finish. But today, Coach Dan is coming to you by way of the East Coast to tell you that this is the time to buckle down and finish strong, no matter what has gone on in the first 9 months of this year. So how do you do it? Well, from a business perspective, let's look at it. All of us, we are in this health and wellness space, this health and wellness business. Undoubtedly, the CEO is coming up with something that's going to help people, and as a result, is going to help you. You know that for this company, it is the most, this is the time, the most successful time, the most productive time of the year. And so there's nothing to be, so this time should not be any different. Now, what is going to be different is this. What are you focusing on? Oftentimes we focus on generational wealth. And generational wealth is very, 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 very much so important. I am locked in on generational wealth like never before. I am doing things and investing in things and buying things, and everything that I'm doing today is for the security of my family and my children tomorrow. And so I'm not living at this moment for me. I am living for the generations that will follow. Coach Dan is on his way to be a granddaddy. So guess what? By March of next year, I'll be a grandfather. And I am living to set up the generation that follows my children's generation, right? That's what it's all about. But here's one thing that I'm realizing. As I've shared with you many times, the first level of wealth is health. And so here it is, if we're going to generationally be wealthy, we must also generationally be healthy. So what does your generational health look like? And so as we focus in on closing out this year, the idea is to help to create healthy families. As you all know, we're looking to do 1 million blood tests by in the 18 months. Why is that so important? Because if we could get the entire family eating right and eating according to their blood type, then what we are doing, watch this, you guys, that test alone becomes the seed of generational health in the lives of those that you are connected to. And so that is something that you want to target. Why? Because the conversation is not about a product. The conversation is living a healthier and better life. And I just believe that everybody wants to live a healthier and better life. And those that don't want to live it is because they do not believe that it's attainable. But your job as ambassadors for health and wellness is to help people to see that no matter where they are in their health journey, better is possible. That's your job. It's better is possible. And so as the packs get ready to come out, I know the packs is going to focus on health. It's going to focus on developing and procuring customers and getting customers actively engaged like never before. And here's the deal. I need your focus not to be on getting a new customer, but I want your focus to be on saving a potential life, on potentially saving a life. So as an ambassador for health and wellness, your goal in this fourth quarter is to potentially help save as many lives as possible with the help, with what you have in your hands. So that's what the goal is. So what does that look like for us? What that looks like for us is that we have to become a magnet for people. Watch this. We have to become a magnet for three types of people. For people that are already sick, for people that want to get well, for people that are tired, watch this, of being sick, and for people that don't want to be sick. Those are three types of people. Well, Coach Dan, the first two may sound the same. They sound like they're the same. No, they're not. Because you have some people that are already sick, and they've become okay with being sick because they don't believe that really living a healthy lifestyle is possible for them. Or if they believe it, they have not been made convinced of its severity. And then you have some that says, I'm tired of being sick. And when we talk about sickness, we're not necessarily talking about chronic illness. There's some people that are emotionally sick. They're physically sick. They're spiritually sick. They're psychologically sick. Their energy is drained. I am an avid watcher of in my sleep time and bedtime. Coach Dan have during his international travels have found fond of this program called The Resident. And The Resident is a series about some very talented, gifted doctors that works every day. It's really causing me to have a newfound respect and admiration for doctors that you have access to. But they find themselves every day in situations where they're seeking to save lives. And one of the things in an episode that I was watching, the wife had been taking care of her husband that had fallen ill. And she had been by his side. They had been married forever. There's no children, and she's been constantly taking care of him. And when she got him to the hospital, she got to a point where she asked the doctors, she said, I can't take it anymore. And when she said, I can't take it anymore, she said, I can't keep taking care of him. I do everything. And he didn't understand, because all their life in his mind, they had been taking care of each other. But for the last several years, she was not being taken care of. He was the only one being attended to. Well, she wound up fainting, or something happened in the hospital, and she got ill, and they did a couple of tests, and they said that she was dying from a broken heart. She was dying, literally. She had a cardiac episode as a result of the fatigue and the pain and the emotional suffering that she was going through as it pertains to taking care of her husband. I'm saying to you today, there are many people out there that are dying for other things other than cancer, other than diabetes, other than hypertension. And you have the answer in holistic health to be able to come and potentially save their life. And in this fourth quarter, if your mission moves from money and your mission moves to helping people, in this fourth quarter, if you develop a passion for people like never before, then you're going to begin to see some things shift, because money follows mission. And when you're on a mission to the pursuit of purpose, money becomes the inevitable. And so what I want you to focus on in this fourth quarter, I want you to become, as I continue to term this, ambassadors for health and wellness. I want you to become pioneers for helping people to live a better life. I want you to focus in on those that you can see that are in need of not only in need, but also have a desire to be healthy. And as you do that, I believe you're going to begin to see your bank account increase, you're going to have even a greater level of fulfillment, and you're going to have a greater level of momentum, because now it's not about the nose, it's not about the clothes, but it's about the saving of sick bodies and souls. And so with that being said, I'm going to pause for the calls, give it back to the midwife, give it back to the one that really, to be honest with you, if it had not been for her, many of us would not be here and a part of this community. And so I'm going to yield back to my Miss Phyllis, and until next time, as always, prosper.
Wow, Coach Dan, thank you so much, because it gave us a mission. You know, you never think about it like that. People are suffering. We know what we need to do. And now we have a pack appropriately named Generational Health. And we got to give that up for Mom Mitchell, because she is the first that brought that on. But this new pack for this season that we can take and bless our customers, and everyone should be on the site at the end of this call. The new pack is called Generational Health, guys. And that's what we want to create here in Econo, because, hey, if you're not healthy, all the wealth in the world can't change that. And so we thank you, Coach Dan, for being with us even in your travels on the East Coast and Washington right now. You still met the call. You still took care of us. You still dropped those nuggets. And we just hope that you take those nuggets and utilize them throughout your week's work until we hear from you again. A few other announcements I'd like to make. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., we will be at the dispensary, guys. Invite out your guests for them to hear that short presentation, get their questions answered. I know Mooney is going to be there. Maybe he's already sold out, but with his phenomenal food towards the end of that presentation. Tomorrow, Thursday night, you've got the event for bringing out your guests, as well as tomorrow. Always bring guests, but you just want to present your business. And the best way to do that is for you to pick up one of those guests, so you'll know you'll have at least one there. And so with that being said, go out and have an kind of day. I don't know if there are any more markets. Yeah, I was going to call you on. Yes, you can take it away.
Yeah, there's one more. Because the banks were closed yesterday, the special that we had for yesterday with the 20% off with a minimum of $100, and if they spend $150, they also get the Hemp MD, will go on today, because banks were closed today, and it ends tonight at midnight.
Okay, guys, go out and have a kind of day. Thank you, Dr. Ross. Thank you, Coach Dan. Thank you, everybody, for attending. But you were blessed with that message. Bye now. Push. Push, push.